reader of fiction, a huge reader of fiction. Ever since I was a little child, Nancy Drew was one of my favorites. And so I always wanted to tell those kinds of stories. As I began to grow in my writing skills, began to write stories, articles. I wrote for a lot of Sunday school papers where I was able to weave in my newfound faith into stories, things that had happened in my own life and how God had worked in my own life. I started to think about how great that would be to be able to weave in the spiritual aspect of a character's life. Eventually, in 2007, my first novel was published. I grew up in Los Angeles, in inland Los Angeles, and my earliest memories of going to the beach were of piling into a station wagon with my mom and my aunt and my cousins and my brothers and taking a very long journey to the beach. Probably was 45 minutes, felt about 3 hours. Now right before you hit PCH in Santa Monica, there's a very dark tunnel, and as you exit that tunnel, you see the bright blue sea. So that's always been my memory of the ocean. You'll see in the books my characters will go through dark times, but there's always that, bright blue sea at the end of the tunnel. The Otter Bay novels are set on the California coast, and Sweetwaters is the story of Tara Sweet, whose life in Missouri was not going as she had hoped. So she decides that she wants to move to the little town of Otter Bay, California, where she remembers a fairy tale life. She lived there till she was 6. She talks her sisters into moving to that town, and when she gets there, unfortunately finds out that that fairy tale was more of a soap opera instead. Sweetwaters is a 2010 Carol Award finalist, and I'm very excited about that. This is a story of Callie Duflay, who fights all kinds of causes in her little town. She is an assistant camp director, and she is in love with her town. She was born and bred there, and she learns that a large development is going up on a piece of property that was promised to the community. So she leads a fight to stop the development, and her fight becomes rather personal when she develops feelings for the architect who's been assigned to the job. The next story in the Otter Bay novel series is Fade to Blue, and this is the story of Suz Mitchell. Suz is a single mom whose main goal in life is to raise her son in the most uncomplicated way, to make her way in the world with her son, and to work as a restoration artist for the famed Hearst Castle, which is known worldwide. That becomes complicated when not one, but 2 of her former loves show up in Otter Bay. There's a little restaurant called the Sea Chest, and I was sitting at the counter. Now the counter is actually a food counter, so you can sit there and see the cooks back there working away, and it's a lot of fun. The man next to me was obviously someone who had been around a while. The cooks were talking to him, and I found out that he was a restoration artist at the Hearst Castle. I, just talked to him for a while. So that was really just something that was tucked into my, I thought, well, what would that be like? And I did find out from him what that was like in that little bit of time. So I get ideas like that, and then they just kind of take wings. I don't want to tell readers what to think, but I want them to see these things worked out in the characters' lives and then take from that what they will. Grace is a big issue with me. My tagline is seaside novels filled with faith, flip-flops that gives you the kind of fun feel, and waves of grace. Grace is huge. I have a website, Carobini.com. I have a blog that can be reached through my website. I'm on Facebook and Twitter. I do get letters. I get letters from readers all the time, and it's really interesting that sometimes they'll tell me something that they got from the book that maybe I didn't intend necessarily, and really help them see their own situation in the right light, and I'm thrilled by that, just thrilled.